So these guys do like action. I think this is a highlight series, right? It's not as if every hand is this big. So Robl, it seems like the straddle is off now. Robl, it's kind of weird, right? Like who takes off the straddle at the end of the session? You kind of, you know, when people are stuck, they want to gamble. So Robl opens 2500 ace king, okay. Antonius 3-bets to 8500. Okay, I mean, this is a bit too loose, of course, with the king 9 suited, but not the worst. I mean, it's way better than like king 6 suited, and it's way better than queen 5 suited, so can't hate too much on it. Now, Seiver has ace jack offsuit on the button. In theory, this is an extremely easy fold. This raise is just too loose. I mean, yes, you have two good cards. Like, your hand is not that bad, but it's really not that good. I mean, you're facing an open-ended 3-bet. You're also deep stacked, so it's not the worst hand to do it with, but this is definitely too loose. So unless I think that Patrick is really out of line, and as far as I know, Patrick is not the type of player that is out of line too much, I would just fold here. If he has ace jack suited, you know, that's a decent difference. Do people ever like tank like that for 2 minutes, call Tony, and then actually fold? Oh, Tricket is thinking. I think that ace jack is a little bit better than 6 deuce offsuit. It would actually work. I mean, he would for sure get it through. I mean, actually not for sure, but Robl should probably fold. I mean, if he gets cold 5-bet into and he has 3 big blinds in the pot, being super deep. So this is interesting. Yeah, this is interesting. I mean, normally if you're playing like 100 big blinds, you would end up shoving or folding there. But the thing is, they're so deep. I mean, they're basically 1,000 big blinds deep. So then I actually don't mind this play. Patrick folds, which, I mean, he's out of position to see Scott. If he were closing the action, I would call I mean, he's not that deep. But the thing is, he's quite dominated, so he doesn't want to play his hand out of position. When Robl calls, I think ace king is a pretty big part of his range. I'm guessing that range is a bit unbalanced. But then again, he has queen 5 suited. You know, who knows what's in there. Check by Robl, hopefully. There's no leading going on here, ever. Good check. So, yeah, this is kind of the problem. Like, he's 4-betting too many of these bad hands, and even though, I mean, the flop is like, I mean, it cannot be a better flop for his range, right? And he's still, like, not loving it. So, I mean, you could end up betting small here with your whole range. You can have checkbacks and also bet on the larger side. If he truly has, like, with Seiver, like, the thing is, when Robl calls, he's not, like, bluff calling or anything with, like, real trash, unless it's against Matt Kirk. So, with Seiver then 4-betting too much, I actually don't mind if he has check behinds. It might just also be that he always c-bets, except for, like, queens and ace jack or something, which is obviously not great either. So, with these strategies, probably you want to see some check behinds here. Obviously, easy to say when Robl has ace king. Other than that, I wouldn't even mind, like, a quarter pot c-bet. But the thing is, you're so deep, you're going to have to make huge bets on turn and river. Robl might even have kings here, to be honest, pre-flop. Aces, I would not give him. Let's see if Seiver uses the simplified strategy. He does not. Uh-oh. So, obviously, it's not a great card for Robl. I mean, Seiver can definitely have jacks here. I don't think he has a random flush too often, especially when, you know, when Robl blocks like king 10 of clubs, let's say. So, yeah, you know, can Seiver have like queen 10 suited? Possibly, but you know, not that likely. So, yeah, it's actually a pretty tough spot. It's actually a very tough spot. This one is extremely tough. I honestly am not too sure what to do. I think with this one, you probably want to, like, if you want to bet ace king here, having the club combo is a little bit better, of course. I think the way these guys play, this hand is just going to be a bet. But obviously, we're not betting very often, right? Because I mean, this board is pretty good for you, but Seiver's doing well. Seiver can also check back hand like aces here, but to be honest, I don't think he ever does. He should, but I don't think he does. I think leading is the play. But he has to be very cautious here. Robl actually checks. Actually, I mean, even though I think a bet is better, I think that it's you have to give him props for being able to check a good hand here. Seiver, I think that Seiver should actually check behind sometimes here as well. But I don't mind the bet. Likely sizing tell coming up. I don't like the sizing. It's not a good sizing. My screen is frozen once again. This is just an easy check call. There's no way you can check raise this hand. This is not like a mergy value / bluff raise. This is just a clear-cut check call. Okay. And I'm guessing Seiver bets like 85k on the river and Robl 10 calls. Calls within 20 seconds. Seiver with the posture. It's actually difficult to get value here because even if Robl has like ace queen of hearts, do you really expect him to call here? Would be an impressive check behind. Okay. So I mean, Seiver realized that Robl's range should be pretty strong when he cold calls that cold 4-bet, right? Especially out of position. So yeah, they did a good job of pot controlling there, both of them. What size should Seiver bet on the turn? I mean, the thing is that's really difficult to solve, Jay William, just because, just because we have no idea what they're doing. I mean, because their ranges are quite far off. Third pot, I would say, is a little bit better there. Even the check behind, I would say, is I mean, I'm pretty sure Power checks that hand behind very, very often still, which feels a bit weak. But then again, I don't think Robl check raising too many flushes, even though he should. So I think in the end, then just betting big and then just like snap checking or like checking the river is fine.